So we were discussing about Panchayati Raj, and in previous video we discussed about Gram Sabha and the members of Gram Sabha, that how they resolve problem on the level of villages and a small area. And now we are going to discuss three levels of panchayat. Hmm. So after reading about what happened in the Gram Sabha and the Gram Panchayat in Hardas village, you can understand that the Panchayati Raj system is a process through which people participate in their own government. In rural areas, Gram Panchayat is the first tier or level of democratic government. Panch and the Gram Panchayat are answerable to Gram Sabha. Become it is the member of the Gram Sabha who elect them. This idea of people's participation in the Panchayat Raj system extend to the extend to two other level. One is block level, which is called Janpad Panchayat, and the Panchayat Samiti. The Panchayat Samiti has many Gram Panchayats under it. Above the Panchayat Samiti, it is a district Panchayat or the Jila Parishad. The Jila Parishad actually makes development plans at the direct level. With the help of Panchayat Samitis, it also regulates the money distribution among all the Gram Panchayats. Within the guidelines given in the constitution, each con- state in the country has its own law with regard to panchayats. The idea is not provide more than more and more space for people to participate and raise their voice. Ask your teacher to invite any of elected persons such as Panch, Sarpanch, or member of Janpad or Jila Panchayat and interview them on their work and the process under by them. So I can do this in the village because there are lots of member of Gram Sabha, so it can be performed easily there. So I will try this year maybe interview. So now this is the end of the chapter. Now we are going to discuss the questions, the subjective questions. Then we will, after discussion of the question, we will see the next chapter, that is rural administration. So that one is one best chapter. What problem did the village is Hardas face? What did they do to solve these problems? So in the Hardas village, we saw mainly two problems. First problem of water crisis, and the second problem of unequal distribution of money, or you can say source resources, who they are below poverty line. And these problem are were solved uh, by uh, the Gram Sabha, by organizing, by holding a meeting of Gram Sabha, and by the uh, yeah, uh, suggestions and the contributions of their opinion, uh, all the other member who they are present in the Gram Sabha, and the some people of village too. So second question is, what is your opinion? Is the importance of Gram Sabha? Do you think all members should attend Gram Sabha meetings, or why? Is the importance of Gram Sabha? Yes, there is importance of Gram Sabha, because you can't solve the um, uh, several problems on the level of uh, local level and the level of villages. So Gram Sabha uh, performs a very vital role on the local level. So it is too much important. Do you think all the members should attend Gram Sabha meetings? Uh, we should, everyone should, and all members should attend, but uh, it can be also held, or it can be operate with the majority of members, almost 75, 70 or 80% members. Sabha, and why? But the better option is, it is necessary that every member should be present there, because I think every uh, uh, member of a Gram Sabha is elected by some member of the Gram, that village, and if they are not present there, so in the Gram Sabha, if single member is not present there even, so not a single member is absent there. I think behind it there is a huge community, there is a huge population who they are missing to raise their voice, to present their problems, to introduce their uh, situations in the Gram Sabha. So it is necessary to, uh, it should be the necessary thing that every member of Gram Panchayat should be present, but it can be held to in the majority too, with majority too. What is the link between the Gram Sabha and Gram Panchayat? Gram Sabha and a Gram Panchayat. What is Gram Sabha and Gram Panchayat? Gram Sabha is a community of people at a very small level. Uh, you can say on the level of ward. In a panchayat, uh, there are different villages occurs. A single village may occur, and in a village there are several ward lies, and the group of people who resolve the problems on the level of ward and a very beginning level, at a very small level, that is called Gram Sabha. If you talk about Gram Panchayat deals the problem on the level of a little wider than the Gram Sabha. It deals the problem that is on the village level. It deals the problem uh, uh, with those problems mainly that affects the whole village, or the most part of the village, and it can also discuss the problem with the other panchayat and uh, the night for panchayats. So these are the importance of panchayat, gram panchayat. It resolve problems, handled problems on the village level. Take an example of any one task done by the panchayat in your area, nearby rural area, and find out the following: why it was taken up, where the money came from, where or not the work had been completed. We have to see the task done by the panchayat in area, why it was taken up, matlab why it is done in that area basically, and where the money came from, means from where that money came, and where or not the work had been completed, and which part of the village the works are not completed, the services, the needs are not fulfilled. So you have to make a list. Next question: what is the difference between gram sabha and gram panchayat? Huh? We discussed before. What is the difference? Oh, it is a difference, and we have to discuss about the link between. Hmm. Link between. Oh, we discussed mainly difference there, and now we are going to link. What is the link between gram sabha and gram panchayat? So gram sabha is a small a small block of any local governance, and uh, a governance that formed several by joining several gram sabha, or gram sabha, that is called gram panchayat. So this is the link, and every decision that were taken on the level of gram panchayat, first of all it is appointed by the all the member of gram sabha, who they are present that time. So this is the link between gram sabha and gram panchayat. Read the following news item. First read: Nat Natman Natman is a village on the Chapula Siru Road. Chapula Siru Road. Why the hell is this name? Like many other, this village has also been facing a severe water shortage for the last few months, and the villagers depend on the tankers for all their needs. Bhagwan Mahadev, lord of this village, was beaten with sticks, iron rod, and axe by the group of 7 men. The incident came to light when some villagers brought badly injured lord to hospital for treatment. In the FIR record by the police, lad, lad said that he was attacked when he instead in that in the water in the tanker must be impaired in the storage tank construction as the part of water supply scheme by Nimone Gram Panchayat so that there would be equal distribution of water. How evil, how ever he alleged that the upper caste men were against this and told him that the tanker water was not meant from the lower caste. Hmm. So the question is here, why was the Bhagwan beaten? Do you think that the above is a caste above is a case of discrimination? Why? Mm. So in this news, there was a Lord Bhagwan of a name of a people who is uh, stopping the water tank to supply the water in the area of lower caste region, and that's why people beaten him in a very bad manner, a group of 7 people, and then that lord reported this case on a police station, and so the question is here, why was the Bhagwan beaten? So that's the reason. He first of all, he uh, is a very rational person, you can say, and biased, not rational, biased person, and he is full of casteism and untouchability, untouchability problem. So that's the reason Bhagwan is beaten. So I am observing here. The name is quite symbolic here. Do you think that the above is the case of discrimination? Why? Because this is a case of discrimination. So the mamla is very gambhir. Do you think that the above is the case of discrimination? So mainly that Lord is of a lower caste. I read again this para. So he is saying the tank was uh, unloaded in a tanker that is built in a upper caste area. So when he denied it to, and he said it the equal distribution of the water in the village, then he was beaten. So it is a totally the case of discrimination and casteism. Find out more about watershed development and how it benefits an area. It is benefits in a various manner. So now we are going to start the rural administration. Administration means to operate something. Mm. And you are saying rural administration. So the things that exist on the rural level or in a countryside, in a village, how they are operated and who is the operator in that area. We will in this chapter. There are more than 6 lakhs villages in India. Taking care of their needs for water, electricity, road construction is not a small task. In addition to this, land records have to be maintained and conflict to need to be dealt with. A large machinery is a place to deal with all these. In this chapter, we will look at the work of two rural administrative officers in a small detail. Hmm. So Mohan was angry but also a little, and Raghu's family owned many fields, and besides, his uncle was also the sarpanch of the village. But even so, he plucked up courage and went to Rahul's house. A heated argument followed. Raghu refused to accept that he had the the bond. He called one of his helpers and they began shooting at Mohan and beating him up. The night boar heard heard the commotion and rushed to the spot where Mohan was being beaten up. They took him away. He was badly hurt on his head and hand. He was given first aid by one of his night boar. His friend, who also ran the village post office, suggested that they go to the local police station and fill a report. Others were doubtful it is doubtful if this was a good idea because they felt they would wasted lots of money and nothing would come out of it. Some people said that Rahul's family would have already constructed the police station. I have started this pyramid that it was starting from here. I started from here by returning there. So once again I will read this quickly. Mohan is a farmer. His family owned a small agricultural field which they have been farming from many years. Next to his fields, Rahul's land, which is separated from his by a small boundary called bond. Once, one morning, Mohan noticed that the Raghu had shifted the bond by a few feet Mohan's land and increased the size of his own field. Mohan was angry but also a little frightened. Raghu's family owned many fields, and beside, his uncle was also the sarpanch of the village. But even so, he plucked up courage and went to the Raghu's house. He heated arguments followed. Raghu refused to accept all he had moved the boundary. He called one of his helpers and they began shooting at Mohan's and beating him up. The night boys here to commission and rushed to the spot where Mohan was being beaten up. They looked him away. He was badly hurt on his head and hand. He was given first aid by one of his neighbor. His friend, who also ran the village post office, suggested that they go to the local police station and fill a report. Others were doubtful of this was a good idea because they felt they would waste a lots of money and nothing would come out of it. Some people said whose family would have already con- contacts contact contacted the police. On the way to police station, one of the night boar asked, "Why didn't we spend some more money and go to the main police station in the town?" "It is not a question of money. We can register the case only in this police station because our village come in this area of work," explained Mohan. Every police station had an area that comes under its control. All person in the area can report case or inform the police about any theft, accident, injury, fight, etc. It is the responsibility of the police station to inquire, to investigate, and take action cases within its area. If there is a theft in your house, which police station would you go to register your com- complaint? Hmm. My nearby police station. This earth. Uh, why was Mohan worried about picking a quarrel with Rahul? Because he has lots of connection and lots of land, money, power. Report the matter to the police, and others said he should not. What were the argument they gave? Hmm. They gave argument. You some of them called you should report the police station, and some of them called no, you should do this because Rahul is so powerful and he can harm you again. So you shouldn't report the case of Rahul. Hmm. So that's all for today. We will discuss tomorrow the work at the police station, how the work happens in police stations. Sure, thank you.